So welcome to this video series on aptitude presented by Mentors for IAS in association with Bangalore IAS Academy and Namak APSC. So in this particular video as well, we will be continuing with time, speed and distance. However, few other types of problems, kind of miscellaneous kind of problems, maybe ratio or data sufficiency, those kind of problems, one or two, I will be dealing in this particular session. From the next video onwards, we can move on to a different topic. So this will be the final topic under time, speed and distance. Maybe in the next video, we can take problems on trains. So there's not much explanation to be done over here. Even when it comes to data sufficiency, you know how data sufficiency works because we have done similar problems, but not of time, speed, and distance, but of, if I'm not wrong, of time and work in one of the earlier videos. So you know how these kind of particular problems actually go about. So we'll straight away start with the first problem. Now, the first problem says a dog takes 4 leaps for every 5 leaps of a hare. However, 3 leaps of the dog are equal to 4 leaps of the hare. Compare their speeds. Now, this being the fifth video when it comes to time, speed and distance, now I'm pretty sure, or I hope that you are able to understand the relationship between time, speed and distance, how these three variables are related to each other and how questions when twisted can be solved if you understand this. Now, this question is actually very simple as long as you understand. Now, what is this question saying? A dog is jumping, sorry, a dog jumps 4 times, 4 leaps, and in the same time, that the dog jumps 4 times, the hare, that is the rabbit, the hare jumps 5 times. So the time taken to jump 4 times by the dog is equal to the time taken by the rabbit to jump 5 times. The time is the same. The question further says, however, 3 leaps of the dog are equal to 4 leaps of the hare. Meaning, when the dog jumps, okay, so when the dog jumps 3 times, when the dog jumps 3 times, this distance is equal to the rabbit jumping 4 times. The distance covered by the rabbit in 3 jumps is equal to the distance covered by the rabbit in 4 jumps. This is the dog and this is the rabbit or the hare. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is that let us assume D to be the distance covered by the dog in one jump, in one single jump. So in one leap, or when the dog jumps once, let the distance covered be D. Let H be the distance covered by the hare in one jump. Okay, so this is the distance of this is the distance that the rabbit covers in one jump. Now the question says that 3 jumps or 3 leaps of the dog is equal to 4 leaps of the hare. Then can I say 3D, correct? 1D is nothing but the distance covered by the dog in one jump. Therefore, 3 jumps of the dog is equal to 4 jumps of the hare. Therefore, 3D is equal to 4H. Or I can write it as 1D is equal to 4 by 3 times that of H. Okay, so this is fixed now. Now the question is asking for their speeds. Okay, compare their speeds and all the options are given in the terms of ratio. So we have to find out the ratio, that is the speed of the dog, the rate at which it jumps, and the speed of the hare, the rate at which the hare jumps. What is speed? Speed is nothing but distance by time. Speed is nothing but distance by, or let me write it as capital D here so that nobody gets confused. Speed is nothing but distance by time. Now, what is the distance which is covered by the rabbit? The question is saying a dog takes 4 leaps. It is jumping how many times? 4 times. When it jumps once, what is the distance covered? It is d. Therefore, the speed of the dog is what? 4d divided by the time taken to cover the same distance. Similarly, when it comes to the speed of the hare, what is the speed of the hare? In the same time t, it is jumping how many times? 5 times. Therefore, speed of the hare is 5h divided by t. So we want the ratio. The question is asking for the ratio. So this is nothing but 4d divided by t, whole thing divided by 5h divided by t. So we take this upside. So what do we get here? We get 4d divided by t into t divided by 5h. So we are taking this to the numerator over here. So t and t gets cancelled and we are left with 4d divided by 5h. Now earlier we had determined d in terms of h. What is d? D is equal to 4 by 3h. So we are now going to substitute d as 4 by 3h over here. So what do we get? 4 into 4 by 3, h divided by 5h. H and h gets cancelled. 4 into 4 is 16. 16 divided by 5 into 3. This is nothing but 16 by 15. 16 by 15. So the correct answer is 16 by 15. Now we are taking dog is to hare because the question starts off with dog. The question starts off with dog. Now in case 16 by 15 is not there in the options at all, but you only have 15 is to 16, then you have to mark 15 is to 16. I hope that is clear. However, for this particular question, the correct option is option C. Answer is 16 is to 15. 16 is to 15. Now let us move on to the second question. Now the second question says a person has to cover a distance of 6 kilometers in 45 minutes. If he covers 1/2 of the distance in 2/3 of the time, to cover the remaining distance in the remaining time, his speed must be what? So now a person has to cover a distance of 6 kilometers in 45 minutes. So if he covers 1/2 of the distance, what is 1/2 of the distance? The entire distance is 6 kilometers. 1/2 of the distance is 1/2 is 3 kilometers. So if he covers 1/2 of the distance in 2/3 of the time, see the total time available is 45 minutes. What is 2/3 of 45 minutes? So you have to multiply it by 2 by 3. So it is what? 15. 15 3s are 45, 15 2s are 30. Meaning what? The person covers 3 kilometers in 30 minutes. The person has now covered 3 kilometers in 30 minutes. To cover the remaining distance in the remaining time, his speed must be what? So what the question is asking for is the remaining distance. What is the remaining distance? 3 kilometers has already been covered out of 6 kilometers. So what is the remaining distance? Remaining distance is also 3 kilometers. The total time available is 45 minutes, out of which 30 minutes has already been used to cover 3 kilometers. So the remaining 3 kilometers, has to be covered in how many minutes? In 15 minutes. In 15 minutes. So the question is asking to cover the remaining distance, that is 3 kilometers, in remaining time, that is 15 minutes. His speed must be what? So we have distance, we have time. Can we find out speed? Yes, we can. S is what? Nothing but distance by time. So distance is what? 3 divided by time. Time is what? 15 minutes. However, if you look at the options over here, the options are in terms of kilometers per hour. Distance is already there in terms of kilometers. However, time is in terms of minutes. But we want it in terms of hours because all the options are in terms of hours. So now we have to convert it into hours. What is 15 minutes in terms of hours? Nothing but 1 by 4, correct? 1/4 of an hour. See, 1 hour 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So how many hours is equal to 15 minutes? So 15 into 1 divided by 60. Nothing but 15 fours are 60. So 1 by 4. So here we will write 1 by 4. So now taking 4 to the numerator over here, we get S is equal to 3 into 4 by 1. 4 3s are 12 kilometers per hour. Therefore, the correct answer is 12 kilometers per hour. The correct option is option C. So it is 12 kilometers per hour. I hope you understood. This is actually a very simple question. Now let us move on to the third question. Okay. So the third question says, how much time did X take to reach the destination? So we have to determine how much time did X take to reach the destination. Here two statements are given. Now this is your data sufficiency. This is your data sufficiency. So statement 1 says the ratio between the speeds of X and Y is 3:4. Now, can we answer the question how much time did X take to reach the distance from statement 1 alone? No, it is not possible. It is only saying that the ratio of the speeds of of X and Y is equal to 3 by 4. So no way can we determine the time which is taken by X to reach the destination. The second statement says Y takes 36 minutes to reach the same destination. Y takes 36 minutes to reach the same destination. Can we now determine what time X takes? Absolutely not. Only from statement 2 can we determine what is the time taken by X. We cannot. But let us try using both the statements together. Now the question is saying the time taken by T to reach the destination is 36 minutes. Whereas the first statement says the ratio between the speeds of X and Y is equal to 3 by 4. Now I think we can actually do it. See, now honestly saying, if you've understood the concept, there is no necessity of you doing or solving the problem at all. Just after reading the two statements, straight away you should be able to mark the correct option. Here it shouldn't even take you more than 5 seconds to answer this particular question. But once again, you have to understand. That is why I always say you have to understand the concept. If you understand the concept, this question is the only time required to solve this question is to read the question. As soon as you read the question, you should be able to determine the correct answer. However, I will solve it here. Okay, now here can I write Sx in terms of the distance covered and the time taken? Now see here, the distance covered is the same for Y and X. They are both going from the same, the origin is the same, the destination is also the same. They are going to the same place. So distance remains the same. Similarly, the speed of Y is nothing but the time taken to cover the same distance, and it is Ty. So I'm going to substitute Sx and Sy. So what do we get here? We get d by tx whole thing divided by d by ty is equal to 3 by 4. We take this over here. So we get what? D by tx into ty by d is equal to 3 by 4. D and d gets cancelled. What is ty? Ty is 36. So we have 36 by tx is equal to 3 by 4. The question is asking for the time taken by X to reach the destination. So we have to determine tx. So I take tx over here, I take 4 over here. So it is 36 into 4, I take 3 over here, divided by 3 is equal to tx. 12, 3s are 36, 12 4s are 48. Therefore, S takes 48 minutes. S takes 48 minutes to reach the destination. Obviously, right? The speed is less, therefore obviously the time taken will be more to reach the destination. Therefore, we can answer this question by using the information contained in both statements 1 and 2 together. Only one not possible, only two not possible, but both 1 and 2 is possible. Therefore, correct answer is both 1 and 2. The correct option is option C over here. So it is answer option C, both 1 and 2. Now let us move on to the next problem over here. Now the question says A is faster than B, meaning obviously the speed of A is greater than the speed of B. A is faster than B. Okay. Next, A and B both walk 24 kilometers. Okay. So the distance covered by both, is equal to 24 kilometers. So let me just write it as D is equal to 24 kilometers. The sum of their speeds is equal to 7 kilometers per hour. Okay, SA is greater than SB, but also SA plus SB is equal to 7 kilometers per hour, and the sum of the time taken by them is 14 hours. So the time taken by both A and B to cover distance D is equal to 14 hours. So let TA be the time taken by A to cover the distance 24 kilometers at speed SA, and TB be the time taken by B to cover 24 kilometers at speed SB. Let this be equal to 14 hours. Then the question is asking, then A's speed is equal to what? So we have to find out what? We have to find out SA. We have to find out SA. Now here distance is equal to nothing but speed into time. Now since distance is common, can I say SA into TA, correct? Distance is nothing but speed into time. This distance should be equal to SA into TA, also equal to SB into TB, also equal to SB into TB. So now we have an equation with 4 unknown variables. Okay, so when we have one equation with 4 unknown variables, it is difficult for us to determine. If you have only one equation, we should have only one unknown variable to identify the value of that one unknown variable. So we'll have to eliminate 3 unknown variables. What is the question asking for? The question is asking for A speed. So we only have to retain SA. We have to eliminate all of this. How can we do that? See here, SA into TA is equal to SB into TB. Since we have to find out SA, we'll keep SA. Can we substitute SB in terms of SA? Yes. From this equation over here, can I say SB is equal to 7 minus SA? Correct? Similarly, TB, from this equation over here, TB is equal to 14 minus TA. So I'm going to substitute this over here in this particular equation. So I can write SA into TA SA into TA is equal to, what is SB? 7 minus SA into 14 minus TA. So let me just open the brackets now. We have SA and TA on the left hand side. 7 into 14, I will not multiply it, let me just keep it for now. 7 into 14 minus 7 into TA minus 14 into SA, minus into minus becomes plus, plus SA into TA, plus SA into TA. Now see here, don't we have SA and TA on the right hand side as well as SA and TA on the left hand side? We can simply cancel this. So what are we left with? We are left with 7 into 14 minus 7 TA minus 14 SA is equal to 0. Let me take 7 TA and 14 A to the other side. So what do we have? We have 7 TA plus 14 SA is equal to 7 into 14. Let me divide the entire equation by 7. Dividing the entire equation by 7, we get TA plus 2 SA is equal to 14, Okay. Now the question is asking for what? The question is asking for SA. I still have one extra unknown variable, that is TA. Now I have to eliminate TA. I have to write TA in terms of SA. How can we do that? Going back to the original equation, I did mention, or it is clear to you, that distance is equal to what? Speed into time, where distance is nothing but 24 kilometers. This is equal to SA into TA. SA into TA. So 24 is equal to SA into TA. Then can I write TA as 24 by SA? Correct? TA, I can write TA as 24 by SA. So now I will replace or substitute TA as 24 by SA in this equation over here. So I will write 24 by SA plus 2SA is equal to 14. Now I am taking this over here. I'm writing this over here. So what do we get? I am multiplying SA now. 24 plus 2SA square. I take SA to the right hand side is equal to 14 SA. Now I bring this to the left hand side. So now I have a quadratic equation. I have a quadratic equation. Let me divide the entire equation by 2. I have h square minus 7SA plus 12. Let me just write it neatly. So we have SA square minus 7A plus 12 is equal to 0. Now, in one of the previous videos, I did mention how to solve quadratic equations. So I hope by now you know how to solve quadratic equations. So I'm going to multiply A and C. A and C. See, quadratic equations are always ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So we'll take what? The product of A and C. Whatever product we get, we'll try to represent A and C in terms of its primary numbers. From those primary numbers, that the sum of such primary numbers should be equal to B, correct? So now what do we have? We have 12. I can represent 12 as what? 2 into 2 into 3. 2 to the 4, 4 3 is 12. Now the summation, the sum of these primary numbers should be equal to 7. How can we arrange? What combination of these primary numbers can be equal to 7? Very simple, right? 2 into 2, 4. 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. Also 4 into 3 is equal to 12. So I'll represent 7 in terms of 4 and 3. So what do we have here? SA square minus 4SA minus 3SA plus 12 is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. Now let me just erase this entire thing over here so that we have more space to solve. Let me just remove everything, because or else the dash might confuse me for a minus sign. Okay, so now what do we have here? We have SA square minus SA minus 3SA plus 12. I'll take SA common out. I can write it as SA into SA minus 4 and SA minus 4, this minus 3 into SA minus 4 is equal to 0. So if you open the bracket, you will get the very same equation, this equation. You get the very same equation. Now I'll take SA minus 4 common entirely. So what are we left with? We are left with SA minus 3 into SA minus 4 is equal to 0. Meaning either SA minus 3 is equal to 0 or SA minus 4 is equal to 0. So what does this say? SA is equal to 4 kilometers per hour or SA is equal to 3 kilometers per hour. Now how do we decide what is the speed of S? What is the speed of A? Is it 4 kilometers per hour? Is it 3 kilometers per hour? For that we have to go back to the question. What does the first statement say? A is faster than B. A is faster than B. and the sum of their two speeds is 7 kilometers per hour. Now, if SA, that is speed of A, is 3 kilometers per hour, then it would mean the speed of B would be what? 7 minus 3, speed of B would be 4 kilometers per hour. But what does the question say? SA should be greater than SB. Therefore, this cannot be possible. Rather, it has to be SA, the speed of A is 4 kilometers per hour. Then, if the speed of A is 4 kilometers per hour, what is the speed of B? 7 minus 4. 7 minus 4 equal to 3 kilometers per hour. Therefore, the correct option is 4 kilometers per hour. It is option B. Yes, it is 4 kilometers. I hope you can see it over here. It is 4 kilometers per hour. Option B. Let us move on to the next question now. Question number 5. Now, question number 5 says, if a person walks at 14 kilometers per hour instead of 10 kilometers per hour, he would have walked 20 kilometers more. The actual distance traveled by him was what? The actual distance, meaning when he walked at 10 kilometers per hour, what was the distance eventually actually traveled by him? So what the question is saying that, see, the person walks at 10 kilometers per hour. Okay, so he walks for some time. And therefore he would have covered some distance d. When walking at 10 kilometers per hour for some time t, he covers distance d. But now the question is saying, instead of 10 kilometers per hour, if he would have walked at 14 kilometers per hour, then in the same time t, he would have covered 20 kilometers extra. Therefore, the distance covered would have been 20 kilometers extra. Therefore, he covers d plus 20. So, the actual distance traveled by him is what? So, we have to find out the value of d. Don't you think this is very simple? Now, since time is common, and time is nothing but distance by speed, don't you think we should be able to equate these two things? Correct? So can I say d by 10, time is equal to d by 10 is equal to d by 20, sorry, d plus 20 divided by 14. Don't you think you should be able to solve it now? I'll take 14 here and I'll take 10 here. So what are we left with? We are left with 14d is equal to 10 into d is 10d plus 10 into 200 is, sorry, 10 into 20 is 200. I take 10d to the other side, 14d minus 10d. 14d minus 10d is what? 4d is equal to 200. 4 5s are 20, 50. Therefore, d is 50 kilometers. Therefore, when he walks at a speed of 10 kilometers for time t, then it is what? Nothing but 5 hours. He covers a distance of 50 kilometers. Therefore, the correct answer is 50 kilometers. The correct option is A. The correct option is option A. I hope you understood. These are all simple questions. Let us move on to the next question. Okay. We have option 6 now. Sorry, question 6. Now, question 6 says, three persons are walking from A to B. Three persons are walking from A to Three persons are walking from A to B. Okay. Their speeds are in the ratio of 4:3:5. The time ratio to reach B will be what? So let us assume there are three persons, X, Y, and Z. They all walk from A to B. They walk at different speeds, covering the same distance d. The distance being covered is the same. Distance remains a constant. Distance remains constant. But they all cover the same distance d at different speeds. Therefore, the ratio of their speeds is 4:3:5. Now the question is asking for their time ratio. That is Tx is to Ty is to Tz. We have to find out this. What is the ratio of the time taken by X, Y, and Z to cover the same distance d? Now we know that speed is equal to nothing but distance by time. Speed is equal to distance by time. So if speed is equal to distance by time and Sx is to Sy is to Sz is equal to 4 is to 3 is to y, can we substitute Sx? See here, Sx is to Sy is to Sz is nothing but 4 is to 3 is to 5. Now can we substitute Sx, Sy and Sz as d by t, correct? What is Sx? The distance traveled in time tx, the distance traveled in time ty, the distance traveled in time tz. Distance is constant, therefore I should be able to cancel out d. What does this say? This says 1 by tx is to 1 by ty is to 1 by tz is nothing but 4 is to 3 is to 5 now. The ratio of 1 over tx, 1 over ty and 1 over tz is equal to 4 is to 3 is to y. But the question is asking for tx is to ty is to tz. This means what? We just take tx to the, we just take tx to the numerator. We invert it. We invert everything. If we invert everything, what do we get? We get tx is to ty is to tz. Then this will be equal to 1 is to 4 is to 1 is to 3 is to 1 is to 5. So now we have, I'm writing it here, tx is to ty is to tz is nothing but 1 by 4 is to 1 by 3 is to 1 by 5. Is any of the option in terms of 1 is to 4 is 1 by 4 is to 1 by 3 is to 1 by 5? No. 4 is to 3 is to 5 does not mean it is the same as 1 by 4 is to 1 by 3 is to 1 by 5. It is not the same. Now we have to remove the denominator. Okay, we have to bring the denominator to a common value. I'm not saying remove the denominator. I'm saying we have to bring all the denominators to a common value. How can we bring the denominator to a common value? So in order to determine that, find out the LCM of 4, 3 and 5. What is the LCM of 4, 3 and 5? Nothing but 4 3s are 12, 12 5s are 60. The LCM of 4, 3 and 5, LCM of 4, 3 and 5 is nothing but 60. What we will do is multiply the entire thing by 60. We will multiply the entire thing by 60. So when we multiply 1 by 4 by 60, what do we get? We get 60 by 4 is to 60 by 3 is to 60 by 5. 60 by 4 is what? 60 by 4. 15 4s are 60. This is nothing but 15. 60 by 3 is what? 3 20s are 60. And 60 by 5 is what? 5 12s are 60. Therefore, tx is to ty is to tz is nothing but 15 is to 20 is to 12. Therefore, the correct option is option D. The correct answer is 15 is to 20 is to 12. Therefore, the correct answer is 15 is to 20 is to 12. So there are some practice questions over here. There are 3 practice questions. I'm pretty sure if you've understood the concept, you should be able to solve it. In the next video, we'll try and take up some other different topic. So please do solve it. Try to see if you're able to understand the concept. If not, you'll have to. It only means that you have to solve more problems. Now, time, speed, and distance is a constant problem. Any exam that you take, you'll always have it. If not, at least in terms of or form of problems on trains or problems on both side streams. So I hope I have tried to, I've covered different types of problems under time, speed and distance, and also you've been able to understand. If you still have any doubts, please do write to us. As and when I come across any doubt, I will more or less send the answer or the solution to Namak APSC handle, and when possible, they will post it. Okay. So, thank you very much for watching this video. Please do follow us for more such video. You can also contact us for any further information at these 2 numbers over here. Okay, thank you.